It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal! Yes! Yes! Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
That is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbatkin.
Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for Week 2 of Season 9. Joining me on the program is a very zoomed-in commissioner up at my top left. Where's those pajamas? Mr. Manny Friedman.
What's up, everyone?
And down at the bottom of the screen is a very happy coach. Rarely have I've never seen him happy this early in the season. But coach of the Hackettstown Hagglers, Mr. Gay Zalutsky.
Should I look disgruntled?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the rest of the league would be happier if you were disgruntled.
Well, it's just one win. It's just one game, as Aaron Rodgers would say.
Relax.
All right, well, let's look at those games that took place last week. It's gonna be a long season for me. All right, so here's the rundown. Where do we want to start on these teams? I mean, these teams have been waiting all week for this podcast since because I had to be Jewish. I wasn't going to be. I should actually explain this first. So I wasn't going to be. And then Eugene says to me, you can't record the podcast on Wednesday. I mean, it's Yom Kippur. Like, I don't care. And then he's like, well, that's bad luck or whatever. And now he like moved it from religious, which I don't really care about, to superstitious. And I can't screw with my Jew. So I had to take it off for superstitious purposes.
And then ironic that he's the one that's haggling you about the podcast.
And then he's like playing all these electronics and everything else. He's like, oh, Yom Kippur, let's play some video games. It's ridiculous. As usual, he's a ridiculous person. And he doesn't want me to talk about the ridiculous trades that he's already proposing everywhere because he says that's just not something. He thinks it's, what did he call it? He called it something. Tampering? I think he called it tampering. Tampering because, and I told him first of all, I'm not the commissioner. And second of all, I'm just a guy in this league. And then he's like, but you have a podcast. I'm like, you could have a podcast. Go do one. And he's like, I don't want to do one. I want to listen to yours. Where's yours? I can't sleep. So, all right.
Can't sleep?
He said he can't sleep knowing that it's what's the quote that he gave me? He said, is the podcast out tonight? I can't sleep knowing it's about to drop. Gaze has spent every dollar of his FAAB already. I can't win this league. And then he goes to the trade stuff. So whatever. Which, by the way, you didn't actually spend all your money because Mr. Friedman did a mathematical error of not including the $200 for everybody. So great, everybody. Lutsky's going to spend another $100 on some ridiculous.
All right. Can I go spend it right now?
Yeah. Whoever you think is going to be available next week, Lutsky's just going to, don't even bother because he's just going to.
So we have two Jews on this podcast and one not so Jew, I guess, for spending a lot of money.
He can't get rid of it fast enough. It's like Brewster's Millions. All right. Let's get my game over with because this was an absolute shit show. I don't even want to talk. I'm facing Kimmel in soccer this week. I should have won this. I don't even know what the hell happened. What happened? What happened here?
All the Tennessee.
I can't. That happened. I mean, look, I can't. I mean, also, I my record against Kimmel in this league, going back to forever, I just can't beat this guy. Like him and Lombardi, I have trouble against when I should win them. My projection was 143 to 120, and he ends up winning 116 to 100. I mean, like
with a player that was out.
With a player that he spotted me a player. He spotted me a player and beat me by. Like, this is. I mean, it was all Kyler Murray. 41.56 points. 10 from Ridley, which is not even that good. Mike Evans gets 5 in that game where they were just giving out points like it was Christmas or Halloween. Robinson gets 8, 14 from Edmonds, which is respectable but not great. 12 from Thomas, 0 from Beckham. His kicker gets 10 and then 14 for his defense. But I mean, and I still got 26 out of Lockett. Sorry. 16.8 out of 18 from Tannehill, which sucks. Julio Jones sucked. Aaron Jones sucked. Taylor did all right. Kittle did all right. Robert Woods did all right. And then Koo got 6 and Cleveland. I mean, this is just absolutely. This is one of the most embarrassingly poor performances I've ever had.
Well, why would you? I mean, I have to give you a little bit of a yellow card on this one because why would you play any defense that plays the Chiefs? What was your rationale behind that?
Because they were my defense.
Yeah, but not if they play the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs scorch everyone.
Okay, give me shit for the defense when I don't have it. When I didn't have another defense at the time.
Are you playing the Ravens defense this week?
No, I'm playing actually the Rams defense because Nick and Jamie dropped them.
And then you drop the Cleveland defense and
because Nick and Jamie
they're playing Houston.
I know because Nick and Jamie dropped the Rams defense and they're just like they're a good defense. And I wanted the Arizona defense, but you know I can't keep up with that kind of scroll. I can't hang with that. How much did you spend on that defense?
A mere $20.
Yeah.
A third of my underpaid.
Oh, the Arizona defense, yeah.
I would have paid 57 had I had the extra hundo.
I think you spent more on one defense than everyone combined for the rest of the season will spend on the defense.
Hey, you know what? I'm a big spender on wasteful items. Just look at Jameis Winston.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. You're probably going to drop him next week. I mean, you saw what happened when you spent all that money on Hawkinson. You didn't use him again.
Nope, he's out.
Winston is due for a game where he throws 5 interceptions. He threw 5 touchdowns with no interceptions.
I know it's going to be 5 interceptions with no touchdowns. Exactly.
This week it's going to be 0 touchdowns with 5 interceptions probably.
Mm-hmm.
And you already have a quarterback, by the way. There was no reason for that, but whatever. As far as bench blunders, I mean, there's a few on Kimmel's team. 15 from Henderson, 26 from Davis, 20.9 for Chase in Cincinnati, 18 from Brandon Cooks. His bench almost outscored my team. And he could have used any one of these in the in the flag, but he was trying to spot me a player. That was nice of him. He made it look closer than it was. So thanks. Anything else? I don't really even want to. I don't want to look at this. I haven't thought about this in days. I went to go see a movie on Sunday for the first time in 2 years.
Project you to go 14-0 with this team?
No, they're supposed to have one loss. This was the loss.
Oh, okay. All right.
They didn't say that this is the loss, but I'm saying that this was the loss. Yahoo is like terrible at that. They never predict it right. So the fact that they said I was going to be good is kind of a curse. Because they don't, I was kind of having this discussion with Eugene earlier. Not that he understood it, but his drafting, and he says, "Oh, well, you're going to say this in the thing," and yes, I'm going to say this. He drafted in an auction draft like he would in a snake draft, which is he got players ADP, above drafting position, but there is no drafting position. So when you have madmen spending over $100 on a player, like, you know, and you have whalers with a base of DeAndre Hopkins and who's this? Oh, and McCaffrey. Like, who cares if you have Montgomery and Gibson as your backfield? Like, yeah, it looks good, but you're you know, the thing I was trying to say, which maybe you'll understand it, but he's like, well, these guys are great to me. I value these guys. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, you really like your Hyundai. It's great. Like, to you, it's personally, you love your Hyundai, but like when you try to bring it into the Ferrari dealership, they're not going to give you a Ferrari as an even trade-in for the Hyundai, even though to you, it's like a Ferrari.
Well, looking forward to later on in the podcast, McLaurin did pay off.
He did. Look, I'm not saying that he. Look, I think Eugene is the most, like, standard fantasy football player in this league, and that's not meant as a diss. That's meant as a compliment. In that, well, it's not meant either as a compliment. It's just meant as a statement that he plays fantasy football like you would in any normal fantasy football league, but we are not normal here. We are not even close to normal. Normal leagues don't have people spending $26 on defenses just in a random off. Like, we are a bunch of crazy people here. And it's like when I play poker, I sometimes win because there are standard rules in poker that you just, like, unwritten rules that you just follow. And people think that I'm going to do that. And then they find out, wait, why did you go all in when you had a 2 and a 7? It's like, I don't know. I just thought that's what you do. I don't know. I thought maybe it might win. Why not? And then they all fold because of that. And so he's playing a standard kind of fantasy football, you know, like as you would anywhere else. But this is a group of crazy people. And to his credit, he adjusts to that to a degree.
Yeah,
but
right now he's tied for a share of first place, so something he's doing is working.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, let's look at his game. That's all he got? Really?
Yeah. It's not that great of a performance.
This is what he's been. I thought he's been.
No,
wow.
He didn't do that well, and he had most of his points on Thursday night with Amari Cooper scoring nearly 40 points.
119. This guy is talking crap, and he scored 3 more than Kimmel, who sat a guy. Come on, come on. Well, I mean, look, he at least wins.
He's my ass.
Yeah, he's already trying to shaft someone with a Higbee trade.
Is there a
Higbee
Higbee?
How do you know that?
Package? I didn't know.
How do you know that? Was that you? Because here's the thing. Was that to you? Because I have not said that. I don't want that revealed. Because I have not said anything about any of his ridiculous trade offers.
No, he tried to shaft Donkey Kong by offering Higbee and some schmo on his bench for Kyle Pitts.
So he's just peddling. He's clear. I mean, like, I can't. I refuse. Let's just say that I'm aware of Higbee being offered to other teams as well.
Well, I mean, the Rams have, a lot of targets. So, Higbee is good, but, when you have Woods and Kupp and, considering Gronky Kong already has Kupp, I don't know, that it's not a equitable trade. I mean, Kyle Pitts has a lot of potential, but I mean,
I'm not going to comment on his trades because he keeps saying how I poison them. Please, by all means, first of all, I would like to encourage everybody in this league this year because Nick has been a little bit full of himself. Please, please, if you want to trade with Nick, by all means, go after his carcass and then remove every last morsel, because the reason why Nick won last year is because he actually resisted his base instincts of wanting to trade. So Nick, we're not going to defend. Go do it, man. Do it this year. Trade away. The sad thing is I actually looked at his team earlier and here it's right here. There's very little to I mean,
to
his
go after.
backfield of Harris and Harris is not exactly. I mean, whatever. So
It might
Nick,
be even
by all means,
worse than my backfield.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna poison the market for Eugene. By all means, Eugene.
Well, the problem with Eugene is that he will offer you the worst trade offer. And then, but for example, if I offered him a trade that made sense or actually worked in his favor, he'd think it's the crappiest trade offer, as well. Because he wants to get rid of his guys, but at the same time, he thinks that his guys are the best thing since sliced bread. So,
yes. I mean, well, I do know exactly what you're saying, but
so it's like it's a lost cause to even consider trading with him because.
Oh no, I think everyone should trade with Eugene. Please, I mean, please. I don't want to be accused. I don't want to be accused of tampering. Please trade with Eugene when you see the deal come through that you just can't resist for Higbee. By all means, confirm it, even if it's Higbee for your, for whatever. Crosby, Crosby.
Okay,
please give away your best players for Crosby.
He'll want to give away Higbee, but then say you offer Kelsey for Higbee, he's going to be like, "No, Higbee is the greatest thing ever." So.
Look, the man's a salesman. I mean, he knows the value of these players. Like, he knows it better than you know it. So everybody, please, go out there and get yourself some Eugene. I mean, because look at the man's ability to draft quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers. Look, I mean, veteran. Look at his performance. 1.32 points. He went out and got the guy that said, "Please trade me." And when they said no, he said, "Fine, I'll play here." That's the guy that you want on your team. The guy that has no interest in playing this season on your team. Yeah. He knew to get him. And he knew to bench Tom Brady. The man is a coaching whiz. I can't even approach how good of a coach. The man is just amazing.
I mean, I have to say he has a deep team. I wouldn't say it's like the best from top to bottom, but
I described it. It's a 15-player bench team.
Yeah.
And McLaurin, I would promote McLaurin to a starter. He's solid.
Right. Cooper is going to have a good year.
Cooper's going to have a good season, especially with Gallup getting hurt. So he's got two players and 12 bench spots.
You don't think Gibson is going to light up the league?
But I like his bench. He's got Kareem Hunt on the bench. Like, if you scroll down,
you like his whole team.
Yeah.
Well,
the unfortunate thing is that he can only play 9 of these guys.
He can only play 9 of them. Right.
I agree that he has a deep team. I do agree.
Yeah,
about that.
I don't think it's like he has the best players, but I think like top to bottom, the depth is there. But he has
plenty of guys to sub in, but then you have to know to play like Tom Brady instead of Aaron Rodgers
right.
on those occasions. I mean, that's when if you're going to give yourself that kind of deep bench, then that's really where
I also feel like he drafts to get this like trade bait. He likes to bait people into trading, like these guys like Montgomery, Gibson. They're not that good, but I think if you throw the bait out there, he feels like he can sucker someone in with these guys. Like if you throw, someone like Kelsey or, Tyreek Hill at someone, that's not bait. Those are superstars. But if you throw these guys out, I feel like he can kind of, trick someone.
Muscle his way into a trade.
Right.
I think that he is just, obviously the best coach in the league and knows everything, and I just don't want to get text messages. So despite the fact that you're telling the what I feel might be accurate, I just can't agree with you, because he's just too good. He's on a level that I can't understand. He's 19 points ahead of me this week. That's a level that I can't possibly achieve. All right, let's look at this.
This is just going to go Eugene into a tirade.
Of course.
I'm not saying anything, Eugene. I I'd say it's a good
Me
win.
neither. It's a good win.
Players and
You got your retribution against Nick.
Yep.
I mean, you're also the yes man. You just agree with what I say, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excellent point, Matt.
Yes, thank you.
And Igor from Van Helsing. Yes, master.
All right, so Rodgers gets 1.32. A bad game. Still, I mean, it's not actually a bad play. Like when you think about it, I mean, when you have time, whatever. I'm not going to fault him for that. McLaurin is a good pick.
Yeah, McLaurin.
Well, especially, yeah, he's solid, and Cooper's solid. Gibson, I don't think is. And Montgomery, I think because of the workload is good.
Well, again, you have to understand when you're going to wait that deep into the thing, all you're going to have is a McLaurin and a Cooper.
Yes.
The bench players. If you're going to wait that long, and that seems to be Eugene's MO, he's going to wait. He's proven it. He's going to wait.
Yeah.
And he's going to look for, I think what Manny said, more Shafto trade bait than actual players. Most people use the auction as like.
I mean, Gibson is definitely not a good pick. I mean, I felt like McKissick got the ball way more in this Giants game yesterday than Gibson, especially in the red zone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is McKissick on any team yet, or is he going to go to the Hagglers for $57?
Oh, he's going for a hundo. He's going for a cool hundo. You better start opening up your wallets.
Yeah. All right. Well, Higbee got 11.8, decent score there, and then which Johnson is it? There's so many Johnsons. Oh, Deontay Johnson.
Deontay.
Yes, it's Deontay. With a fine Deontay with 14.6 points. Crosby with 3 and 9 for the San Francisco defense. For Nick, 20 for Lamar Jackson, pedestrian. Devonte Adams gets 10.6. That's actually impressive, being how bad that team was. On the fact that he still got 10 points, that's actually pretty good. 23 for Lamb. His backfield of Harris and Harris. It's sad that the New England Harris, what's his name? Damian Harris got even more than Najee or whatever his name is.
Najee Harris.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, everybody touted him so highly. Hunter Henry with 6.1. Who's Devonta Smith? I literally don't know who that guy is. I don't pay attention to fantasy football. I'm like Lombardi.
Eagles rookie.
Sure. The gay guy got 12 and then 13 from Baltimore. Look at this. Well, I mean, look, there's a lot left on the bench. 102. His bench beat my team. That's just sad. Great. And then 69 for, I mean, whatever. I mean, he got his revenge. Neither team played very well in this, but you know, he got the win. What more do you want? I don't have much else to say right now. So, you know, Eugene, feel free to fast forward to when we mention your name again. Okay. Next game. Do you two want to talk about your game?
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
But
well,
yeah,
then,
we can get it over with.
Go for it.
Well, the showmanship in this game actually started at work, giving each other advice on who not to play.
Yeah, true.
Started off with Rob Gronkowski. I just casually asked him, "Would you play Gronkowski?" He's like, "Yeah, he's old." I go, "Yeah."
What did he do?
Washed up.
What did he do?
Should I play Gronkowski because it's Brady? He's like, "Nah, he's old and washed up." Like, okay, you might be right.
Yeah, he was partying too much.
Yeah, partying too much. He's out of shape, et cetera, et cetera. So I took him out. Well, I didn't take him out. Hockey dropped him, and I just didn't play him like an idiot. And then he laughed.
Meanwhile, he was going after my running back core and saying that Melvin Gordon is trash. I didn't say
last year
Gronk
when
was
Melvin Gordon
trash.
didn't do squat.
I'll tell you who is trash, Saquon, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Good point. But he was like, "Oh, why would you draft Melvin Gordon? I got him, in the waiver wire for like, I don't know how much you paid for him last year, but he was doing nothing. He's trash." I didn't say Gronk was trash. I just said I would bench him this week.
Oh yeah, how convenient.
But yeah, so I ended up listening to him as well, which was a dumb decision. I should have started him instead of Barkley, but I was trying to
offered me Barkley. I think he's learning some tips from Eugene on how to shafto trade. He tried to offer me Barkley.
I wasn't on the Zoom call.
You should. If Barkley, let me tell you something. If Barkley even sniffs double digits this season, you should be shopping him like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Most people will have watched this podcast and be fired.
Exactly.
Well, I'm hoping with his 10 days off going into next week. But, the fact that I paid $60 for him in the draft, I was trying to.
Does he get 60 points this season? Can you get $1 a point?
We hope. Well, it's not looking too good, but hopefully, he has 10 days off until his next game. So we'll see.
He had a whole year off to get 3.7 points, but okay. He was well rested.
I paid a lot for him, but I thought someone would hit that button one more time to pay $61 for him.
Take him off your hands.
No one did. So I ended up being the fool. But it's okay. It's crazy that a running back that 2 years ago was going, first overall in a lot of snake drafts has just become absolute trash.
I mean, 2 knee injuries on a crap team will do that to you.
Yep. So who's worse right now, Gordon or Barkley?
Probably Barkley at this moment.
Ooh, that's sad to say.
I would rather play Charles Barkley at this point. I just don't think.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, considering the crap performance from Barkley, I squeezed up Tyson Williams off the bench, and that ended up actually being a pretty decent pickup until he started fumbling in the second half. And the fact that Rodgers didn't do anything, so Tanyan got nothing in that Green Bay game. Sutton did nothing, and my two-headed monster of Allen and Diggs were relatively pedestrian. I mean, at 105 points, I see some upside,
Well, Diggs was not. Diggs was. That's a. I mean, look, Diggs can do better than that, but that's still decent. It's just Allen did.
No touchdown, and they only scored 16 points in that game. So it's not like. I feel like Allen could get 30 points every week. He's in that category where. So I'm really hoping for a bounce back with those two guys.
I mean,
Godwin. I mean, Tampa Bay has a lot of targets, but I think Godwin has leapfrogged Evans. I know they have Antonio Brown still, but
don't forget about Antonio Brown there, buddy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. They have a lot of targets, but
and Gronk. Don't forget about Gronk.
I mean, and then on the Hagler's team, the fact that Christian Kirk got fucking 24 points. I mean,
yeah, where did that come from?
I know. He's so hit or miss.
Devontae Parker even got double digits.
Give me a break here. And then, I mean, his running backs, Henry didn't do well, but Cook, you're going to expect 20 plus out of him.
It's actually a poor game for Cook, and that's a really poor game for Henry.
Right. So, I mean, it's only a 9-point difference if Barkley does a little bit better, if Sutton catches another ball, and if Diggs catches a touchdown, I win that game. So,
yeah, no, I mean, it's a close game.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, you absolutely had the potential to win the game. But, didn't happen.
No. Well, I'm starting Gordon this week, so that might come back to bite you.
Or it might come back to bite you.
Oh, yeah, look at the talking now shifts to Dave Harback. So, Manny, why don't you give him some great advice on who to play?
Yeah, well, he's trash talking my running backs, so I gotta throw it back in his face.
I mean,
Barkley
deserves
okay. It. I agree. It's all right. And he only scored 8 points. He already played this week.
I know.
So, yeah.
So he has a total of 11. I think my running back is bad. Well, no, because Aaron Jones because he was part of that Green Bay game. So,
at least he scored 8 points better than Odell Beckham did last week, and you still lost. So,
oh no, I have nothing. I am not in a bragging mood. There's nothing. We're not happy right now. All right, let's just move on to another game. Let's see. Well, you can move on to your Whalers team.
Score 175 points.
You want to move on to the Whalers? We can move on to the Whalers, the disgruntled Whalers. Who, I'm sorry, how did he get this team? First of all, you give the guy who hangs out in the dumpster for everyone. You give him a base of McCaffrey and Hopkins. So, as far as McCaffrey went, like in the auction, I mean, it kept going up there and going up, and I wasn't totally sold on McCaffrey, even though I was, I kind of wanted him. But I didn't feel like I need McCaffrey. But more than that, I felt that Whalers didn't want McCaffrey. I felt like he was just fucking with me and wanted to just bid it up slightly. So I kind of wanted to just be like, fine, take him. And then I feel like it, because I don't think it was part of his draft strategy. If you look at his draft strategies for the last God knows how many years, he was very much like a Eugene who would just hang around forever and not really spend money until the end and do that. So I just felt like this was, all right, fine. Let's see what you do with what you don't want. And he added DeAndre Hopkins and Thielen and all this other stuff. So, well, that backfired. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Stafford with up and down. 30 points for Stafford, 26 for DeAndre Hopkins, 30 for Thielen. Where did that come from? McCaffrey, of course, with 27, 17 for Miles Sanders. Didn't make the Sanders 20, but still, or was it? It's the 20, right?
Yeah, the Sanders 20. Yeah,
of course, he's not going to get that. 14 for Goddard. 10 for Davis, 12 for Zierlein, and 7 for the Washington defense. The only weak spot in this team was the Washington defense that last week. And then for the Lightning Rods, I mean, look, they kept pace pretty well. Like if they weren't playing the Whalers this week, they would have had a win. So 39 for Mahomes, Keenan Allen with 19, 16 for Metcalf. Jacobs with 17, but didn't he go? He's out now with some kind of injury. Ty Johnson with 3.6, 25 for your Hawkinson. Look at that. 7 for Gallup, 9 for McManus, and 15 for the New Orleans defense. So, I mean, it seems like all of the games this week were pretty close, but these teams are far better than some of the other ones that might have wins, and certainly ones like me who have losses. Did I have the lowest score in the league? I think I had the lowest score in the league.
You're in dead last, actually. You're in Hagler territory.
I know. I feel like I'm in a Hagler season.
You've been Hagler.
This is unfamiliar. This is unfamiliar territory for me.
I think we're the last. We're 11th and 12th, respectively. So you and me.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I know. It's terrible.
Well, one of us gets dead last.
To see the Whalers have Hopkins, McCaffrey, and Thielen.
And he's hanging out in the garbage can waiting for anything else, any crumbs that'll fall down, especially when Rojo gets negative 0.6. Oh, he's waiting to get rid of that. And by the way, also has Chark for 17, 16.1 for Waddle. Oh, and 25 for the Detroit running back. That's Jamal Williams. Great. This is fantastic. I love to see this. The man is on a mission to, just destroy the rest of this league. I'm so thrilled. I haven't had enough of a kick in the nuts in center sports this year. Whalers is going to come back and win this whole thing. Great, fantastic. Exactly what I wanted. Eugene is winning championships left and right, and the Whalers is now going to win one too. What more could anyone want? Has anybody else who's won? Kimmel won this year. This year in center sports has just been magical. So we started out with Kimmel, Nick, Kimmel, Eugene. I don't know who's going to win soccer, and then basketball, and then Whalers will probably win one. Great.
It's just week 1. Don't overreact. It's fine.
That's what I do. Overreact. And I'm in last place. I love it. Let's move on to Gronky Kong, your burner team, who did way better than you. 139.16 to 128.28. It's weird how you just happen to know the trade that was given to your burner team.
Yeah.
Before anybody else.
He told you what Eugene offered.
Texted me privately.
Oh yeah, he texted you. Of course.
Yeah.
So heard this guy ever talk or seen a picture of him? Nothing.
No, we saw that guy that he hired that time.
He's always out when it's time to interview him.
139.116 to 128.28. See, another close game. Cyberdyne went down. Look at that. 35 for Russell Wilson, 9.5 for Allen Robinson. Cooper Kupp with 23.8. Nick Chubb with 22.1. Edwards Hilarious with 10.27.1 for Pitts, 15.4 for Moore, 11 for Bass, and the New England gets 5. Defense gets 5. Kirk Cousins, you like that? Not enough. 26.04, 14.9 for AJ Brown, 12.54 for Jefferson, 11.7 for Eckler, 25 for Mixon, 5.7 for Hooper, 10.4 for Galladay, and 14 for Golden, 8 for the Denver defense. Gould, who, by the way, wasn't he ranked 13 or something in Kimmel's magical board of projections of kickers? His depth chart.
Not a good magical board of projections.
I know. I had the Cleveland defense ranked as 13 in my list. I've created lists of all 13. So Gould was his 13. Or maybe it was his 5. I think it was his 5, actually. Whatever. Hurts got 34 on the bench, but other than that, nothing. No bench blunders to be seen here. Would you like to comment on your team? I mean, your burner team. I mean, Hirsch's team, Manny.
Yeah, technically, you're 1-1.
Yeah.
I mean, he drafted this team when as he was having a baby, or as his wife was having a baby. So he did it in the hospital with like some crappy Wi-Fi. So he told me it's like a miracle that he got some decent players.
Was his wife just another actress that you hired?
Yeah, I mean, he has a decent, core of Wilson, Kupp, and Chubb. I think Kupp is going to have a big year with,
which happens to be the baby's name, Wilson Kupp Chubb.
Yeah,
that everyone is hailing the Rams as like the next big thing, and Stafford is like inducted into the Hall of Fame. It feels like I don't know, but Kupp is definitely their best receiver. Chubb is always reliable. I think he's better than Kareem Hunt. And then Wilson, he's always good in September, and then he kind of declines as the season goes on. So we'll see if he can.
Wilson is always good. He always gets
he's good and he runs. So I think he has a decent core. Pitts, we'll see if he can rebound. I like the pickup during the draft.
Yeah, people were touting him. I know.
Yeah,
just like they were Najee Harris.
It's just that team is really, really bad. To lose 32-6 at the Eagles, I don't know. Well, we'll see. But yeah, I mean,
And Cyberdyne claims that he doesn't watch football anymore. So,
yeah, he still outscored both of us. So,
of course, that's an extra insult there.
Yeah.
And then there's one game left. Wow, this game was not close. Talking about not close games. Holy crap, Wakanda! What? Whoa!
Wakanda just got unlucky. They just played Nick and Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. What happened here? How does he even? So 33 for Prescott. Okay, 37 for Hill. Ouch. 31 for Samuel. Like,
Jesus
ouch.
Christ.
That's the first three, I think, beat my team.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Unlike Kimmel, who just benched one, he could have spotted me, everyone from Elliott down. And Elliott, by the way, had a crap game, and he still gets 179. 11 from Singleton. Could we have a rematch of the first Center Bowl between Nick and Jamie and Whalers this time? That would be interesting. 11 for Singletary, 25 from 19 from Landry, Suckup with 7 and 8 for Los Angeles. Oh my God. Did they actually beat the Whalers? And aren't they also the team that had that 180 to 180 game in the playoffs that time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Watch out for these two teams. I certainly will have to watch them because I have nothing to watch.
Nick and Jamie's my nemesis.
That's
true.
Hope
I play them on a Kansas City bye week.
Well, I mean, they still have they have Prescott and Samuel. I mean, they still. So what? You shave on. All right, you shave off 50 points. That still beats you. It still beat you by 30. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Having a Kansas City off week. Wakanda didn't get any performance from Herbert. He was complaining about him the whole game. 15.3, 23.7 for Antonio Brown, which is a good game. 15.8 from Higgins, 18 from the $104 man. 12.7 from Carson, 26 from Waller, who Waller delivered way more than the most expensive man in league history. 12.7 from Anderson, 3 from Lambeau, and -2 from the Jacksonville defense. So, I mean, you say the Houston defense or whatever that they're or the Houston is trash, but not as much of trash as Jacksonville is. So
yeah, that's true.
As far as bench quote unquote blunders, nothing really. I mean, Sterling Shepard was 24. Wow, look at that. I mean, it didn't matter. He could have played his entire bench, and he barely would have gone off if he was able to play his entire bench. So, I mean, Nick and Jamie just had an amazing game. Let's see if they can sustain it. But that's certainly something to look out for. Jeez. All right. Well. It's a Friday, so let's just barrel through. I don't think we need a commercial break here. I'm too lazy to want to edit this at all. So let's just. I normally would take a break, but screw that. Let's see. Well, actually, we got to go to the trade trans. So let's pretend like we had a little break here and come back and look at what we would do after the break, which would be the transactions. We're so far away from it that it's not even close. But let's see what happened with. So Jameis Winston. So you weren't the only one who wanted Jameis Winston, by the way. So you put in $40 as the winning offer. But we also had 13, 2, and 0. So, way to outbid there. Buffalo. Hackettstown's finest got Buffalo. Look at that with $2, but Zamunda had a lower waiver priority because of how badly you did this week. And the Hagglers picked up the Arizona defense for $27, outbidding me, which I spent 17, which clearly not enough.
You think 17 would do it?
Look, 17 was what I was willing to spend on a defense, and look, I already put in a bid for Eli Mitchell also, who went to you. 33 outbid 26. 26, 10, 5, and 3. And Mark Ingram even went to Cyberdyne, $22. outbidding me with $2 and Gronky Kong with 0 in the lightning rounds of 0. Oh, sorry, he went to Tillett Trey. I thought he went to wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, obviously, and then you have another $100 to spend this week. So great grand treat of the road. I don't really care about the rest of this stuff because we're already on Thursday. I'm not going to go through all the transactions at this point. So with that abbreviated whatever, let's move. We're a well-oiled machine, as Nick or as Eugene wants us to be. Great. Let's go to matchups for this week. Might as well start here since this is where it wants us to start. Game that is already underway. The projection is 136.91 to 139.49. Originally, it has now decreased with your performance of 8.9 down. So we have a slight edge, and that's with your player playing like crap. So great.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. So,
well, Tanyan fucked me up last week against you, so I'm hoping for some revenge there.
Last year.
Yep.
I mean, it's Monday night.
It was the Monday night game.
It was. Let's see if Tanyan can. That would be ironic.
I think the projection was slightly off. I mean, the Cleveland defense is projected to get over 10 points. I mean, I do like them this week. I like Clowney and Garrett, coming from both corners. I think they can cause some turnovers.
Right. So when I had them, you hated them, but now that you have them,
well, they were
playing.
They're
great.
They were playing the Chiefs. You got to consider the matchup with the defense.
I know you have to consider the matchup, but still, you're like, whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of my booger statements.
Yeah, you're right. I just love that's you. But let's hope because no, you know what? I'm not going to talk you out of it.
So I mean, Cortland Sutton without Jerry Jeudy. Hopefully, you get some more touches. And I just need Allen and Diggs. Those were two guys I was targeting in the draft. So
yeah, my dilemma here is whether or not I play Beasley or if I play Julio Jones. Because so if I play Beasley, that's to cut into some of Allen's success, hopefully. But I'm not going to gain too much. Whereas, I could just hope that Buffalo craps the bed. But I mean, they're playing Miami. Like, I think I'm going to keep Beasley in there, although I still am considering the idea of playing Julio Jones. But I mean, he was they were so bad, and now they're playing Seattle at Seattle. I just don't want to put on. I need to wait and see what's going on with that team. I do think that come the end of the season, I think that that Julio Jones will be, a good receiver. I mean, look, that they are a team that kept giving AJ Brown a lot of points. Like, and the thing that I said about the Titans is they are a terrible team to watch, but like somehow, usually by the end of the game, their players get a decent score. Just like what do you call it, Derrick Henry? Like it takes him all game to get there, and it's a slog, but he usually gets there. So
he didn't get there this past week.
He did not. I mean, nobody did on although I think AJ Brown did.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's a tough matchup going into Seattle. I think it's the first game in like 2 years they have like the full fans there. So I think,
I'm trying.
Lockett is definitely a good play. I'm worried about Lockett.
Yeah. No, and we'll go with Tannehill at this point, but I don't necessarily want to play Julio Jones, and of course that'll bite me in the ass, I'm sure, but whatever. So I think we're going to try to play a little bit more conservatively, take some points away from Allen with Beasley, and then see what we can do there. Hopefully Jones bounces back, and if Tanyan does well, then Aaron Jones should do well. So we'll see what happens between that matchup. Taylor did pretty well for me last week. He just has to exceed 8.9. So Kittle hopefully will do well as well. Robert Woods, he did fine. I mean, like you said, that Rams offense is pretty potent. Young Ho, and then I mean, like it says, it is a close game. The question about Godwin, I mean, look, I think that Tampa Bay is going to have a fantastic game against Atlanta. Yeah. The question is Godwin going to get it, or is Evan, like, we don't know what the
right. But it's similar with Woods, you know, is
I agree.
Woods going to get it? Is Kupp going to get it? Is Higbee going to get it? You know, like
I agree.
It's hard to say. So.
And then Gordon probably will have a good game against Jacksonville because they're terrible. And Sutton might too. I don't know. We'll see. This should be a close game.
Yeah, should be. I mean,
I also have the option of playing Chenault.
Font also over Tanyan. That was another. I'm actually thinking of doing the jumbo package and going with Font over Sutton. That was one thing I was thinking about.
You could do that, but I mean, like, just for the juju, you gotta go Tanyan, just to see if you can get retribution.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, or it could just completely backfire and in your face. But whatever.
I might actually go Font over Sutton. Thinking about that.
What did Font do? Didn't he had a good game last week, right?
Yeah, he did.
12.2. What did Sutton do?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. This is the only decision that I have to make is Julio Jones or Beasley, and I'm leaning certainly towards Beasley at this point. And I know that is I'm going to suffer from that. All right, moving on. Where should we go next? Shall we go to the matchup that is playing this week in soccer as well? Odwin versus Geese.
Odwin versus Geese in soccer, yes.
Yes. So Wakanda is a 66% favorite at this point. What is happening here? I mean, we know that the Hagglers always, projections mean nothing to the Hagglers.
Nothing to the Hagglers. Come on. If you're playing projections, you're a fool.
I know. They haggle you down. That's the point, right? So the projection is 141.8 to 120.19.
Well, we've already got an early sighting for a nominee for bench blunder.
Oh, do we? We do.
Yes, we do.
We do.
You already have all 3 IR spots occupied.
Oh, yeah. I learned that from the Whalers. You pack your team with players until the game takes them away from you.
You're going with the 52-man Whalers roster.
52-man Whalers roster.
Yeah, except you're not doing
all the players.
Yeah, except you're not doing the full Whalers, where he wouldn't even have a kicker or defense until game time. He would just load it up with players, and then game time comes, he would drop them, and then so you can maximize.
Well, when you spend $50 on the defense, you're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but Prater, I mean, he did well for you though too. You can't get rid of him either.
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
Spend $42 on a defense, and they're projected only 5.44.
Hey, you know what? We got to pay to play. It's pay to win.
The defense I picked up this week, I got paid nothing, and they're projected almost 13 points.
Yeah,
projections mean nothing to the Hagglers. Remember?
True. So you were explaining to me your rationale behind starting Sammy Watkins this week. Explain it to the public.
Playing against the Chiefs. Now that's going to be interesting. He's going to want some payback against his old team. They're playing under the lights, and the Ravens got embarrassed by the Raiders. So they're going to be looking, and you got to score points against the Chiefs. You can't kick field goals, and you certainly can't punt. So they're going to take away Hill, right? Oh no, they're going to take away Hollywood Brown. They're gonna try and contain Lamar. So it's either going to be Andrews or it's going to be Sammy Watkins. And
you're not playing Andrews.
The hype factor was with Andrews he sucked. The fullback was getting more catches than Andrews. Why would you pay somebody $86 million and then throw it to the $300,000 fullback?
I don't know. Why would you? Why would you pay $27 for a defense and then have them against the, like whatever? I mean, why would you pick up Gronkowski out of the garbage can and then not play him?
That's a good.
These are all questions that one needs to ask. That being said, well, all right. Why is this? Well, so first of all, Kamara has a 22.4. I mean, so where is all the? I mean, Waller looks legit.
Yeah, Waller is a beast.
Yeah, but that's a tough matchup against Pittsburgh. To play Monday night, fly across the country to play an early Sunday game. I don't think the Raiders are going to be doing that well in that game.
Could be Robbie Anderson versus New Orleans. I don't know. That might be weak. I mean, why is this? What is his projection? 1-4. All right, so we're only talking about a 20-point difference, even though the percentages are way off. I mean, look, Kirk, are you really that confident about Kirk?
Well, here's the thing. We're waiting for this seesaw nonsense with Jamison Clam Crowder. He finally got cleared from COVID, but now has a groin injury. I guess he was bopping his banana like Melvin Gordon on the plane. And now has a mysterious groin injury, which I knew nothing about. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered. So he's supposed to sneak in there because he's the Jets' main target. But who knows? Who knows? This lineup could change in the next 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm looking at your team. So here's the thing. I think from Henry down, it's pretty impressive. I think, Henry, Cook, Gronkowski, and Elijah Mitchell. That's potent. Mm-hmm. I agree with you on the Sammy Watkins thing in that it's a revenge game. He's right.
Oh yeah, after this game, Watkins is out. You can look for him in the trash bin.
Right, but like it's these kinds of games where they play their former teams and
exactly.
they want the ball and they always do well. So I actually would not be surprised if Watkins has a fantastic game and then you never hear from him again.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Christian Kirk, on the other hand, I don't know about that one. Burrow against Chicago. I mean, Chicago looks.
Well, Will Fuller's coming back, so Devontae Parker is sitting on the bench. And the problem with that is, I think Will Fuller might be hurt already. You know how he loves to get injured.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So if he's injured, that may factor in as well. There's a lot of things going on behind the thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
That 17-point Blanche blunder can't hurt that. Thanks, Hawk.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, look, Herbert could have a good game because he's playing against Dallas, and last time that was a shootout in the last game that they played. Antonio Brown playing against Atlanta, that could be trouble. Higgins is, he does really well, and I don't think that Chicago is that great, but at least you'll be throwing to him if he does anything too good. The $104 man is playing against the $94 man. So, I mean, Kamara did not. I mean, he did all right, but like for 104, whatever. Chris Carson, 17 is his projection. Waller, all right, we've already talked about Waller, and then Robbie Anderson. I don't know. I think Robbie Anderson, that might be, because he had his quote unquote revenge game against the Jets, and he only got 12.7. So I'm not sure how.
That's what Watkins finishes up with. I'll be happy.
Yeah. All right. I mean, the Tampa Bay defense against Atlanta might be a good play as well for him. So we'll see. I think I mean, look, I'm not saying that you can't win this game, but obviously the projections are not in your favor.
Projections are pretty lopsided at this point.
Although I don't see it.
He's the latte pick of the week.
But I honestly don't see it. I mean, this is going to be my pick for upset of the week. I'm pretty sure, just because I'm looking at this and I think that, from, like I said, from there down, and even with Watkins this week, I think you have a good shot to upset him. And I'm gonna geese with Manny here on Darren Waller. Yes, he had a short week and he's going back east, so maybe he won't have as good a game.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could have a great game because he's not going to throw to anybody else because he just wants to dump it off to the tight end. But whatever, we'll see.
Oh, by the way, on another note, did you see how many points Graham Gano ended up with last night on the
22.
Giants? He's not on any roster, but he scored, I think, 23 points or something for
Was
a
that the
kicker. Yeah.
Well, that's a bench blunder for the entire league.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Well, I guess, I mean, we might as well go with games that already kind of started, and then, so let's go with Nick and Jamie. Well, they're certainly falling off their perch right now, but I mean, I guess it was the defense, so they're okay. So it's only 1 point so far. Against the Cyberdyne 6.8. So the projection originally was 142.6. It's currently at 133.66. Or sorry, against two. Sorry, 142.6 to 133.66 was the original projection. It's now 137 to 128. So still a 57% favorite. So you got Prescott, Tyreek. I mean, obviously, Kelsey against Baltimore. I don't know. I don't really need to. I mean, Prescott should outplay Cousins.
Jerk going up against the Cardinals defense is finished.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He's going to be sacked so many times.
Yeah.
This game.
I think so. I don't really need to. I mean, like, anything that stands out for you in this, I don't think. I mean, nothing really. Nothing on the bench so far. Yeah, I mean, I think and then locking up the 6.8 in the flex right away. I mean, you don't lock up your flex. We've talked about this a million times, but whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Nick and Jamie. I still think that they're gonna. I think that they're gonna.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm curious about how Elliott performs because he did not look that great the first week. So, and what did what did Singletary do the first week? 11. So. Who does he have? Mixon was amazing, and then Eckler's going to be at full strength. I mean, so you got the Elliott Eckler matchup in the same game. That could be interesting. I don't know. We're going to find out a lot in this game. I think we're going to see.
Dallas looks like they're a throwing offense. Like they got CeeDee Lamb. I mean,
I agree.
Really good. Cooper and Prescott look sharp.
Yeah, but I agree, but I would like to see it more than once before I'm ready to, go all in on it. So I think so, but the things happen in week one, particularly on a Thursday night game, that don't necessarily carry through.
True.
I'm not saying that it won't. I just am not.
That's true. Would you say Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in the league right now?
Are we talking? We're talking for fantasy purposes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's on the quarterback. He's got to be up there.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he's got the explosive potential. I mean, he's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends. I don't know. Well, he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
All right. Whalers against your burner team. So 2 points already. Where was the 2 point? The defense, the other defense. So right now, Gronky Kong with a 142.9. Well, it originated at a 142.91 projection to 143.42, which is now dropped to 136.56. Ooh. Whalers, meanwhile, outplayed his projection by 30 points last week, and I wasn't all on the defense, so I don't think that 2 points is going to matter there. We'll see.
It's a close game, actually.
I mean, look, Stafford going against Indianapolis, and Indianapolis was a pretty high scoring game last week. DeAndre Hopkins versus Minnesota, and then Thielen. So he's got a lot riding on that Minnesota versus Arizona game. Although you certainly don't think that if you think that Cousins is not going to have a good game, I can't imagine that you think that Thielen's going to have a good game.
He could get some catches, but Cousins is definitely in deep trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Hopkins is still going to get his points. McCaffrey is still going to get his points against New Orleans. Miles Sanders, is he going to reach the 20? No, but he'll do well. Goater.com with 11.43 as a projection. Shark is been, he's just steadily good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you have Russell Wilson against Tennessee. I agree with you. This is the first time that the crowd is back. I mean, they'll have a good game there. Robinson versus Insta. What did Robinson do last week? 9.5, so not overwhelming. But he's got Cup at Indianapolis, so he's going to take some points away from the Whalers there. Chubb versus Houston. That's good. Edwards-Helaire. I'm not completely sold on him. Pitts at Tampa Bay is nothing either. So I think that there's a weakness here. I think that Whalers is definitely stronger at running back.
Yeah, but Sanders against San Francisco.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. I don't think that's going to be.
Although
it's better than Pitts.
Eagles quarterback. It's
Hurts,
right? Yeah, he was really good last week. So see.
DJ Moore, he was fine and sure. But I think that they about even each other out. I mean, New England against the Jets. I don't know. We'll see. I actually think that the Whalers will. I think that his running backs are just superior, and I think. While Thielen might not have that great a game, and Cup might take away, I think that he loses some points with Robinson. I think that projection is really high for him. And I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to certainly make, if not exceed, his projection, in which case I think I got to go with the Whalers on this one.
Minnesota's pretty bad, too. So I think Hopkins will have a big game.
Yeah. Geese, anything?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, man. Right here.
Yes, man. Thank you. Hannah, exactly.
Yes.
Good game, but slightly leaning Whalers.
Yeah. So then, I mean, I like to save the Eugene games for last, but I mean, like it was already played slightly. But all right, we will save it for last. Let's go with the Lightning Rods versus Zamunda. Nothing played here yet. Any bench blunders played here? Nothing. Okay. So we have Mahomes at Baltimore against Jackson versus Kansas City. So the quarterbacks are playing each other. Obviously, I think you give that to Mahomes there. For the wide receivers, Devonte Adams, does he come back and have a good game this time? Does Green Bay get back on track this week? Do we think?
Maybe. Also,
does CeeDee Lamb, is he on Zamunda by Sunday, or does Nick start his sell-off? That's another good question. Allen was good, and so is Metcalf. So I mean, these are okay. This is actually a very good matchup of receivers right here. I think that the question mark is Adams, but I think that I think that they will have a bounce back game, and so I think that this is very competitive there. I think these are terrible running backs all around. Oof.
All four. Yeah.
All four. I think, yeah. Hawkinson was good. Gasecki, what did he do?
Nothing. He gave
literally nothing.
I had him last year. I know better than that guy's horrible.
Williams. Wow, look at that. Versus Claypool. Well, I think I'm going to give the edge to Gaten Casimir and the Lightning Rods here. I mean, look, I think
Does he have another running back to start besides Zach Moss?
Does it matter when you're playing the Harris brothers? Well, he had Jacobs, but Jacobs is out, and then Nick actually picked up his backup in Kenyon Drake. So, if Nick was smart, he would play Kenyon Drake just to screw him over, rather than one of the Harris brothers. But we'll see. I mean, Aguilar was actually your buddy. He got 18 points.
Wow. Aguilar will never be on our team again.
No, we know that. I think that's a high projection for Zamunda. I don't know.
Miami against the Buffalo.
I mean, Harris, they're giving 17.8 points to Harris. Based on what?
What?
I know, like, and I'm sorry, I gotta go. I think it's a very even matchup in that you have two good quarterbacks.
I'm hoping it's Metcalf's turn and not Lockett again. One of them usually go off.
Well, hopefully it's Lockett, but always hopefully it's Lockett, but like or both. I don't care, but whatever. I think Mahomes will outplay Jackson. I think that CeeDee Lamb could outplay the two receivers. I mean, that's really where it comes down. I mean, it's going to come down to that receiver battle because everything else is just.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still take the two Harrises over what the Lightning Rods have to offer.
I mean, that's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, maybe you go. Maybe.
I think it would have been. His team would have been equally screwed if I locked his account. He didn't pay me because, especially the running backs.
Well, we would have been stuck with
Zach Moss is
the guy who's out. He's going to get exactly.
So it wouldn't have mattered.
I think actually, I think I'm going to go with Nick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nick slightly.
Yeah, Lightning Rods put up $1.52.
I know, but he did that with with running backs. He had running backs. He doesn't even have running backs anymore.
Harris, that's a bold statement.
I mean, they're pretty bad too. I just think the receiving core on Zamunda is slightly, but I mean, Mahomes, how much of a difference is he going to make? I mean, not that Allen is bad or Metcalf. I don't.
The Chiefs always torch the Ravens.
I'm going to go with Nick, but I could be wrong on this one. It's not a confident.
I can't go with the Lightning Rod, my nemesis. I'm going with Nick.
Okay. And then we move on to the reason why we do this. Our biggest fan, Dave's secret crush, playing against Tillett. Ooh. The last two center champions. So the projection originally is 136.95 to 136.98. That was the original one. The live projection is 140.76 to 134.61, and that is with McLaurin getting 27 and 9.3 from Gibson. But Thomas only got 9.5, but he is a tight end, so interesting. So he's playing Brady versus Atlanta. That's a good play. Although, do you think Aaron Rodgers does well? I mean, Aaron Rodgers against Detroit on Monday night. It's a real test to see if Aaron Rodgers, if he's going to give a crap.
It's like whatever game where he beats the crap out of Detroit, then mails him in.
Right. Like, I think that Rodgers will have a good game this week.
Yeah.
And
whatever.
I would play Brady because you got to see if he gives a crap before you play him.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this is the one game where he's going to give a crap. I don't know. I mean, look, Brady is definitely the safer pick in that he's playing Atlanta. We already know that Brady wants to win, unlike somebody else, and I don't question the idea of going with Brady. I think that's the right move. I do think that Rodgers will have a good game, though. And I think it might be his only good game, but we'll see. Going against Kyler Murray, who is really good. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah,
so it's a good
playing at home against Minnesota. I think he's going to have a big game.
Yeah, so I think that there will be a slight edge in the quarterback matchup to Tillett. Ridley didn't do anything, and McLaurin already had a really good performance there. Amari Cooper against Mike Evans, I give the edge to Eugene there. Edmonds, he didn't do anything, did he?
No, Godwin
14.
And Brown got the.
Didn't he have? I mean, there was a bunch of bench blunders this last week. So, what does Robinson do?
Nothing.
Okay. So Henderson, he did all right? I mean, this is a 15.7. This is a big game for Mr. Montgomery, his favorite. Okay. Higbee, he doesn't. I mean, we all know the vaunted Higbee. Deontay Johnson, 14.6 going against Chase. He had a really good game last week, right? Yeah, 20.9. I still am going to go with Eugene in this game. I mean, it's close. It's just a question of how many. I don't think Ridley is going to get up to that number, and I don't know if there's enough of a difference. I mean, it's going to be close. I would not be surprised either way. I mean, it's 55-45, and that could easily swing. And I think Brady can keep up with them. I'm going to go with Eugene this week. I think that
I'm going to go with the upset this week. I think Kyler Murray is going to have a huge game. I would not be surprised if he goes over 30.
Yeah, but what do you think Brady's going to have?
Mid-20. I mean, he doesn't run for any touchdowns, so
it doesn't matter. As
long
as
like
he
a quarterback
throws it.
sneak. Yeah, I think he'll have low 20s, I would say. I think
Brady's not handing off the ball.
Yeah,
he's not going to hand off the ball, at the goal line. He's going to throw it for touchdowns, and so count. Who cares if he runs it in?
Yeah, I guess.
But I mean, Murray's going to get some points on the ground and throw it. So
Cooper, I mean, yeah, he's really good, but they got CeeDee Lamb, who also proved to be very good. So that game might be a shootout. The Dallas Clippers.
But do you think Evans? Look, Tillett can take some points away from him if Evans gets a lot of the targets. I still think that I don't know, but I still think Eugene has got this game.
I think Eugene wins it on the backs of Cooper and McLaurin.
I do too.
Yeah, right.
Because I think that they beat Ridley and Evans, and I think that's where this game is won.
So you think Brady and Kyler Murray kind of cancel each other out? You really think Brady's gonna have that big of a game?
I think that Murray has a better game than Brady, but I think that Brady keeps relative pace with him enough so that the McLaurin score and the Cooper score are gonna just wipe away any gains that Murray gets from
But
Ridley.
Henderson might outscore Montgomery.
Montgomery gets a lot of targets. I mean, look, we've made fun of this guy for years, but I mean, like, the truth is that he, in terms of fantasy numbers, he gets the targets.
Yeah, I'm slightly going with Tillett. Just a slight upset in this game.
Okay.
I also think Pittsburgh is going to be able to create some turnovers versus the Raiders. I think that's a blowout.
Look, the Pittsburgh defense certainly got. I think actually in my game with him last week, I think the Pittsburgh defense was the difference, and it wouldn't be the first time that the Pittsburgh defense was the difference in a game that I played. So I know all too well what the Pittsburgh defense can do. But I still am going with Gene. All right. So he doesn't have to hate me this week. He can hate you. Text Manny at whatever with all of your complaints. All right. Well, upset of the week and lock of the week. I think my lock of the week. There was a lock. There was definitely a lock. And who was it?
I think Nick and Jamie over Cyberdyne Industries.
Was it? Is that who we thought was a lock?
I think so.
So I think.
I don't know. I don't know if they're my. I mean, they could be.
It was that one or the Zamunda over the lightning rods.
No, because I still had questions on that one, even though they're terrible over there. I know. Was it the Whalers? I don't think they were lock territory. I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't know who I would actually be totally secure in thinking they're going to win.
Yeah, I think the Hagler's projection against Wakanda was.
I think look
the running back core.
I agree. I think that the Hagglers versus Wakanda is my upset of the week. Who's your upset of the week?
For me, myself.
Yeah, okay. Well,
it's between that or the or Tillett over Dave's Secret Crush, but with the projections being quite different, I'm going to go with the Hagglers over the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get Cyberdyne, I guess. Maybe. I was pretty confident in the Whalers winning this game. I'm going to go with the Whalers as my lock of the week on this. I mean, come on, look at this. I'm going with the Whalers as my lock of the week. I don't care. I guess that's technically my upset of the week too, although it's not really because the original projection was in his favor and the live projection. I mean, like, whatever. Either way, I'm going with this as my lock of the week. And my upset is still the Hagglers. And yeah. I think that's it. We are a well-oiled machine.
Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
He's already in the position of playing video games, as he says. He's saying yes, and he's playing video games. Exactly what Eugene looks for in our podcast.
Why Eugene loves it.
I know. How could he not? He can't sleep without tuning into this.
He hasn't been able to sleep all week.
I know. He could finally get some rest.
Yep.
All right. I have nothing else.
All right, I'm gonna sleep in my Josh Allen PJs. I got the blue, the Buffalo Bill blue.
I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't know. And he's gonna be up all night raiding. Is that what you're doing? Are you playing raids now? What video game are you playing?
Destiny.
Sure. All right. From this crew that clearly gives a lot of shits about this game. Until next week, good luck this week.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.